Kings Club Baccarat, Kings Club Professional Baccarat. Baccarat played for the professional player or for the professional side hustle player, not for entertainment. Get your money and get out. You don't need to stay and play all night long and having fun. You want to play all night and have fun, go do something else. You want to be a professional player, you've got to set the amount of money you want to win. Let me help you get to that number, and then you leave and you come back tomorrow and you do it again. Freshen up. Don't give the game a chance to beat you up. Get in and get out. And that's the way we play it. I'd like you to do it every day. I'd like you to do it for as long as you can do it. I'm not going to charge you anything for this. I'm going to give you what I got. If you like it, you take it and you roll with it. If you think you have something better, then God bless you, and I hope you win with it, because I like people winning. The casino is indeed, by far, the most challenging road game in the history of games. You could go into Kansas City Arrowhead Stadium and have a better chance against the Chiefs than you will in any casino. They set the rules. They administer the rules. They call the games. They set up the games. You've got to be able to go in there and play it hard. And that's what I'm here to try to help you do. We have narrowed the games down to Baccarat being the sole game that is actuarially, mathematically, scientifically predictable to some degree. Just enough of a degree that you can take advantage of it. So we're going to continue to go. We're up at about a 96, 97 percentile win rate. We'd like you to have that too. But we'd also like to close on that last 2 or 3% if we can. And I'm going to say hello to my friends in the kingdom who are showing up. I got Gary out there. Gary, I can't even pronounce your last name, and that's a tough one. I've probably butchered it before. Looks like Sharinian, but I'm not absolutely sure. But Gary, good to have you. Trish Graves is here from north of the border. Welcome, Trish. Glad to have you. Chuck Ritter is here. Start calling you early, King H. Hey, Chuck. Gil Rary is here, and Joseph Garecki, also a Wisconsin native, is joining us. I've got an anecdotal story tonight that's kind of interesting to me, um, and that is about the Red Rock Resorts Casino in Summerlin, Nevada. Really nice property, and of course, it's in Summerlin. It's off the strip. Some of you may have been there. It's a very nice place, and it's owned by the Fertitta family, principally Frank and Lorenzo Fertitta brothers. Um, and they started out with station casinos and expanded, and they also had they originally bought the Ultimate Fighters, the UFC fighting industry. They bought it for, I think it was around $2 million, maybe in 2001 or two, and then they ended up selling it to who was it? The Endeavor Group. They sold it to the Endeavor Group in 2016. They bought it for $2 million. They sold UFC to the Endeavor Group for $4 billion. Now, the Fertitta brothers and family at large is worth in excess of $10 billion, and they own Red Rocks Resorts and other casinos out there in the station casino industry. Um, Flashing ahead to the UFC, then the Endeavor Group appointed Dana White as the president CEO of UFC, and he has led the UFC into even higher levels, to where they're even going to have a great fight night at the White House that they're going to have because of Dana White's relationship with the president. Um, but flash back to, what does Dana White do for his fun hobbies? He is a high limit gambler and not necessarily always a winner. And there's a story out there today saying that he owes a marker to the Red Rocks Casino for in the 25 to the $30 million range. And I got to give the writers of the article some props on it, because they did talk about in depth of what it's like to have a guy like Dana White owing you 25 to $30 million. First thing is, he could pay it off if he wanted to. The second thing is, when a casino gives a marker out to a player like Dana White, it's not like a loan. They didn't really give him money. They gave him a pile of chips that he could play with all night long, and he lost them back to the casino. There was actually no money lost by the casino, these guys, they don't show up with $1 million in cash or 20 million in cash. They take markers. The big players always take markers, and Dana White does that too. And there are times when Dana White wins when he takes out like a $6 million marker, and he wins 6.5 million, and he gets cashed out for 500,000, goes in his pocket, and the 6 million goes back to the house. And so the house did lose 500,000 under those circumstances. Oh, thank you, Gary. I got lucky. Sherinian, it's a great name. So anyway, long story short is the article did point out that even though Red Rock Resorts is currently got Dana White on the hook for 25 to 30 million dollars, A, White could pay it back if he wanted it. B, they're not in any interest or hurry to get it back because they've not actually lost any money. Now, go back to the original story. Who owned UFC originally? The Fertitta family. Who owns it now? The Endeavor Group, and the president and CEO of UFC is Dana White, who is a minority owner in UFC. And so this kind of an incestuous thing, but it was an interesting article, and for Dana White to have a possibly 25 to 30 million dollar outstanding marker to Red Rock Resorts is an interesting thing. But those guys do what they do. I will tell you this: if we could get Dana White into the kingdom with his 30 or 40 million or whatever he's got, he would never lose a baccarat again. You can imagine when you have that kind of money and you have a betting limit of virtually unlimited. Well, you're not worried about 7 martingales, and you can play 8, 9, 10 martingales, and you're eventually going to get your money. I would say this though: these casinos wouldn't stand by and watch a guy martingale up to $6 million taking them down, because they know he's going to ultimately win. So you can only get away with martingale as much as you stay as anonymous and below the radar as possible. But the interesting story about that. So I'm going to flash over to a comment about King John. King John has lived all around the world, and he's a computer genius. And you probably saw pictures of me with him in the restaurant in Las Vegas. He's been in the kingdom for a long time. He lived on the French Riviera and was playing single zero roulette and reporting to me over a year ago his progress. And now he's a baccarat player, and he plays it all over the place. And his work in the computer industry has taken he and his wife back to Chicago. So he's living in downtown Chicago right now. And I spoke with him, and he put together another computer spreadsheet for me on the way we're playing baccarat now that pointed out something that we might want to look at. And I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to make a deviation tonight based on some of the results from King John's spreadsheet, and you guys will find some interest in it maybe. But the other thing is, it doesn't matter if it gets clobbered tonight, because this is a workshop. This is a lab, kind of like was it last night or the night before last? I can't remember which one, that I intentionally dug myself a huge hole because I had a $100,000 bankroll, and I think I might have had to make a martingale of $6,400 to get the money back. But if you've got the money, you can make the bets. Okay, Chuck, that's exactly right. Because, so Chuck Ritter has said that Dana White probably would not have the discipline to play the King's way. He would not. The same way, if Mickey Massey actually played, he doesn't either. John Cerasani doesn't either. They play for fun. They play for influencing. And they play to make their money that way. Now, Dana White does not play for influencing, although he does have a lot of people watching him all the time. But those other guys, they do play that way, and no, none of them have the discipline. I've watched them all. I don't have a big head about it. I just have my feet on the ground, and I know what I see. And the real guys that are out there playing it professionally, I'm going to tell you right now, because there are a lot of them out there, just like us. The casino knows who they are. And they just have to stay anonymous, and they have to make sure they don't take too much out of the casino, because casinos don't like to lose ever. And but there are professionals out there who play nice and quietly, anonymously, and they make money every time. But they're not influencers. They're not out there for the flash. You can tell right away if a guy's got 2 million followers or 2 million views, he's in it for other reasons other than his gambling, although his gambling may show big wins They'll also have Photoshop pictures. Tonight we're going to play some martingale using the influence coming in from King John, and I will just do it. And we're going to start with the 3,840,000. I'm not going to change that. Just doesn't matter. We're going to play martingale $100. So when we win, we got our money, no matter which martingale it was. And we'll go pretty deep on the martingales because we do have a big bankroll for this play. And I'm going to start it with the baseball bet. We'll play the baseball bet up to 3 martingales right now. $100 on the banker. Here we go. This is the baseball bet, the way we play it. Okay, so that's a $95 win, $100 win. So in any event. So now what we're going to do is we're not going to have a bet now because we already won the baseball bet. I'll show it to you. So you got the one banker win up there for us. We would have gone 3 deep, saying that 90% of the time, one of the first 3 hands out of the shoe will be banker. So 90% of the time we would win this martingale. 10% of the time we're going to go down, and we would have went down 100, 200, 400. So then we would have been down $700, and from the 400, I probably would have gone to a $600 D'Alembert, or the way we are right now, I might have waited for my chop play and just went to 800 and go 100, 200, 400, 800, a fourth martingale. So we'll see how we do from here. Well, let's go ahead with no bets and watch what we do. I want to get 2 in a row. So okay, so here's what I'm going to do right now. We got 2 bankers, and this is off of the John spreadsheet. I'm going to play $100 on player to chop this one banker. This is a 1 deep bet. Going to do it 1 time, and it lost. Okay, so now we're going to, the next bet is $200. We're going to get 2 of either side, and there's 2 bankers. I don't think this is a fresh one. I'm not going to chase this down there. I want to get 2 fresh ones, and we're going to bet a $200 martingale on a chop of that. So we got 1 player win. Got 2 players win. So now we go to $200 bet. This is the 2 deep drop. We lost a $100 martingale. This is the $200 martingale that will chop the player this time. And there it is. So let's review real quick. So we played the baseball bet to start with, and then we tried to chop the banker there, but we lost. So then we waited for a fresh, and get that up there. We got 2 players, so we bet the $200, the second level martingale, that we would chop those 2 players, and we did. And so as you see, now we're up 2 bets. We began with 3,840,000. So now we're up 2 bets to 3,001,025, which is not quite $200. I think it's, trying to do it real quick, I think it's 185. I think it's what we're up. So we're going to wait for a new twosome. We've got 1 bank winner. I think we got 2 bank winners now. We do. I'm going to begin again with a martingale. This one's $100 on the player. I'll explain this in a minute why I'm trying this way. There, I'll go ahead and explain it right now. Okay, so now we've won 3 bets. The reason for this is John's computer work showed, as many of you have seen, that if we have a shoe that is heavily player overly represented, the banker has a hard time winning his martingales. And you do occasionally get the player overrepresented. If we go back and forth here, now we're playing both sides of it. And so we're giving an equal chance at it. And if you look at the autopsies if you play corner and you look at the autopsies of a big road, you will see a lengthy amount of time that pairs get chopped. That's why I'm on the pair chop. I'm not on the chop of the single, and I'm not on the chop of the triplet, although I'm still looking at the chop of the triplet. I'm actually still looking at the chop of the triplet followed by the chop of the quad, because I'm trying to find that definite single win. But right now, I'm liking what I'm seeing here, trying to beat either side of the chop, because this gives us a chance to play both ways, not just banker. Now, the banker does have a slight edge right at about 1%. And you do like to have that edge, but that edge does not mean it's a guaranteed win all the time. As you can see right here, okay, we got 6 bankers and 3 players, but we're going to try to go ahead for a little bit more, so we give a little bit better example of what's going on here. And that tie doesn't matter to us. So let's see where we are now. Okay, so we're at 2 players now. So we're going to bet $100. We're at the entry level bet. We're going to bet $100 on the banker this time. Okay, so with that loss, the next bet's 200, but we don't have it yet. The next bet is $200 bet. I think that's a single banker win. Yep. So we need to get a pair. There it is. So we're going to play a $200 bet on the player, and as usual, I would like to lose for a little bit. Let's get this interesting. But it's not going to be. Excuse me. And the reason it's not going to be is because we're now playing both sides of it, and that's what happens in this game. This game gets to be represented very similarly. Even if you look here early on, we've got 4, 6, 8, 11, 12. We got 14 hands there. We got 14 hands there. We got 6 player wins, and we got 8 banker wins. So 8 on one side and 6 on the other. And as you see, our wins were on both sides. We won with the player twice. We won with the banker twice. That's what I want you guys to look at. JP Stevenson's in the house. JP, you got to listen. We got to run the show back so you can hear my opening monologue on what's going on at Red Rocks and Dana White. It's really an interesting thing to me. I love checking out stuff like this. But I've been using the varying martingale bets. I've been using it at the racetrack, and it's an interesting thing to do at the racetrack too. So I've been having some fun looking at how we can use the bet. One of these nights, if you guys want to, only if you want to, I'm not going to force it on you. I will show you a blackjack martingale. That's very, very interesting, and it's the King's way of playing blackjack, and it's with the martingale bet. And so, but again, I'm never going to tell you go play it this way professionally. The only thing to play professionally is baccarat, because it is an actuarial science that is predictable through mathematics. And just like we've seen tonight here, it is predictable this way. We've won 4 bets here and had some fun too. And so I'll come back tomorrow night. You guys can play with this on your own simulations, so you can see when you're playing on both sides, it gives you that much stronger thing. And this was pointed out. I owe it to King John. This was pointed out by King John and how he showed me his spreadsheets of outstanding results over 1,000 hands of watching it go back and forth and saying, don't overlook the fact that the player balances out. And when the player is overly represented, if you're playing player and banker and you're playing martingale, you really got a chance to get your money and go. So we're going to come again and formulate exactly how we want to go forward from here. To thank you all tonight for joining. I hope you didn't get put to sleep with the Dana White story. And give me a like on the way out if you don't mind. And I will be back with you tomorrow night. God bless you all. We got the cool weather continuing, and we are just absolutely loving it. So I hope it's cool where you guys are too. So good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I think Trish is our only queen in here tonight. You're good to see you tonight, Trish, and all of you. Thank you so very much. Hit a like. I love you to death. See you tomorrow night.